It's interesting, you mentioned at the beginning of the show that, when you go down to Tampa, you call your sponsor and things like that, and you always have to stay attuned to it. Every day, do you still want it?
Not every day. It's days, like, prime example, I went through the tough depression. Sad as this may sound, but I have to share this because I'm in recovery. I was actually pissed because I couldn't get high, because I know if I do get high, I'm going to kill myself. I don't want my kids to remember me that way. And number two, if you don't die, you're going to prison, something bad's going to happen, or you're going to go right back to your addiction, because now you have to deal with what's really going on, and you can't do it. But every day you don't fight it, but it is some days. And I remember talking to Ron Doc, he says, you get clean time now, and I remember telling him, this when I was coming up on 3 years. I said, can you believe that? I remember I couldn't stay clean one day. He said, yeah, that's great. He said, but always remember, the disease is just right there, just waiting. He said, at that time, I think Ron Doc had 20-some years. He said, I still have a day here and there, and I couldn't believe that. I'm like, after all this time, he goes, yeah, it never leaves. So you just don't know when. Like I said, it could be a song, something, because my thoughts are positive most of the time, but sometimes I get the sick thoughts, and then you still think you're entitled, maybe. But then you gotta say, wait a second, where are these thoughts coming from? But I can't stay in those thoughts too long because I'll react. So as soon as I get the thoughts, I've learned now, let somebody know right away. I mean, it feels weird. Mm-hmm. It's like, come on, you gotta know now, but I have to let somebody know right away because it's that powerful. I mean, it's almost like when you take somebody with cancer, how they have to get chemo, you have no choice or you die. Dealing with the disease of drugs and alcohol, if I let somebody know I had a support group and tell them myself right away, eventually I'm going to die because the relapse starts before you pick up. The pickup is the last thing that's part of the relapse. Once you start getting the thoughts, you're already in the relapse mode.
Really?
So I have to recognize that.
It's amazing. There's really no cure. You're always battling it every single day.
Always battling. The only thing that helps you that deals with that, your medication, is meetings, telling yourself to sponsor the support groups, people, places, and things. I mean, it sounds simple and you're just throwing out there, but it's all true things. I mean, it sounds like a simple program, and it can be if you follow the right things. And some days are tough. Some days you battle it, and it's tough. It's really tough, and you just have to say, okay, let me just get through this moment. Like I say, just a day at a time. No, sometimes it's a minute at a time to get through that.
Did you ever think that using the drugs compromised your talents on the mound?
I think it took part. It definitely played a part. I don't think it was 100% it, but it definitely played a part because after a while, your work ethics change. Your thinking of setting him up, everything starts changing. You're not aware of that. And the toll on your body for bouncing back from injuries, your recovery period, because being a power pitcher, it takes a while a bit. You have to put in extra work, and then it starts changing. And then you can't use because they're testing you, so you drink more. So all these different things taking a toll. You're aware of it, but you're not aware of it. You're in denial, basically.
So you can understand when you hear stories about guys like Lawrence Taylor and things like that, and Steve Howe. You get it, how you could keep relapsing even though there's so much at stake.
Oh, I totally get it. I totally get it 100%. And unfortunately, I hate to bring him up. John Manziel, what he's going through right now, that was me. I totally get that. And it's sad because you're dealing with a life, and we can give him all the advice we want and tell him all the right things. And I listen to the media, you tell him all the right things, but if he don't want it, it doesn't matter. He can see himself dying. I was dying. It doesn't matter. Until that individual, until I wanted to get clean and get better, you can get all the right help. People say all the right things. You have all the reasons. You have kids. I have 7 kids. I have 3 grandkids. Everything's great. But if you don't want it, it doesn't matter.
What would you tell Johnny Manziel?
I just tell him, just be honest with his feelings. I say, just look yourself in the mirror and be honest with your feelings. That's all you can tell him, and let him know that you're not alone. You're not alone. I've been there. I get it.